there's that bounce I was talking about. So that 38.2 that I was just mentioning here, was the little support level. I thought it would have a little bit of a bounce off there, which it did. It touched. So it's 10, 20, almost 30 ticks up. So that could be a great little scalping one. So even though there's going to be crazy price action happening, we definitely can get moves like that can come into play. All right, so we'll start in the next couple of minutes. I'll just wait until, actually, let's start 2 minutes earlier, just so that we can watch the open. Okay, so for those working with the DTB system, we've got a huge host of tools that are available. So have a look at the website for more information. The risk disclosures for trading, definitely worth looking through and understanding. So review that, and we'll look at our charts. So this is going back to the daily charts. So even going back to the daily charts, we've got our shadow trading on here that even told us from the 7th of September. So these are days. So even from the 7th of September, it actually told us that this price was very likely to be going down. And it also had that divergence over there. So if you look at the connected dotted lines, you can see the divergences. And what happened, but even though we had those divergences, we had this huge momentum line upswing. So it was only really since that momentum line dropped considerably like that, but the price was still creeping up, that was just a hint that this price was going to really go down. And as you can see on any chart, when you have a major swing down in the momentum line, that is what pulls the price down like a magnet. This is a 5-minute chart. So we're looking at, this is obviously the first 5 minutes of the open. So momentum line obviously is facing down right now. It was pulling the price up earlier. That's why we had a very nice little run up there of 200 ticks. But since now, obviously, we've got this huge crash at the moment. Let me just bring up my VPS and just see if there's any trades entered. Yes. Okay. So I've actually had an automated strategy running since 9 a.m. Okay. So if I go look at this strategy performance and I go real time, we've currently had 5 trades, $250 on that strategy. I've got the wrong account loaded. Yeah, I should have that one. Oh, but we're in a down trade. That's not very good. Okay, so that took its first losing position, and now it's actually running up a little bit back to this 38.2. But it seems like we're having a running position here. So even though we had a $700 trade go against us there, we're now up this amount. So how I came up with this figure. So what I've done is, now obviously the market conditions have drastically changed since, there we go, we had a nice run over there. Oh, okay, it's changed over again. But before we look at that chart, let's have a look at the strategy analyzer. So I'm going to just deactivate my video so it can be out of the way. So what I did with the strategy analyzer and why I have a strategy running is I did optimization on the NQ from the 22nd of August to the 18th of September. So it's almost a month. It's basically a month's worth of data if you look at the date range, so 22nd to the 18th. And what I did during that period is I optimized. So you guys will have this template in your folder, in the Skype folder. So I optimized the analytical strategy. I used the time slot between 9 a.m. and 10:55 a.m. So that's the time slot that I used. And I selected that. And I did not select any stops or targets. I've optimized only trend from setting A 1 to 40, setting B 1 to 40. So it's a very particular data set of period between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. using those settings. And I've optimized. I actually had this true. Sorry, I was playing around. So I had this as true. So true, false, and it was on the NQ using a NinjaTrader 11.2. And there's the dates, break at end of day, including commission. And this is basically what came up on the results. I'm not sure if this is the exact settings. I think I ran it again using these, but I might just run this again. I'm not sure how long it will take. It shouldn't take too long. But while that's running, I'll go through the rest of the settings. I used an 11 slippage because that's the right size to use for this. And I'm optimizing on max net profit. So exactly what we've been doing over the last few weeks, but only this time I'm actually optimizing over a much larger period. And if I look at my screenshots from earlier, I'll see if I can bring it up. Yes. So this is the screenshot that I posted in the group earlier. And these were the results. So it basically said that the strategy made $12,400 with a 1,170 drawdown over that period. Okay. And if I look, are those the settings I've got on my chart at the moment? I just want to check that. 34, 37. Yeah. Okay, so this was the result that came from that optimization. And as you can see, pretty decent. And remember, it's only using those basically 2 hours of trading per day. So what I did with this is I went and selected the settings. I'm just trying to see if I can get another screenshot of this done properly. Why is this not working? Come on. That doesn't work. Ooh, okay, it looks like the screenshot I'm looking for is not actually there. But what I went and did is I went and analyzed the specific days of the week. And I chose the best setting based on Mondays to see what Mondays had performed over the last few weeks. So I basically had a few Mondays of data in this result. So we'll just let this continue running, and then we'll look at it afterwards. So I'll pull that strategy out the way. Not looking crash hot over here. We had some nice running positions. But if I right click on my chart now, strategy performance, and I go real time, it's currently showing it's 998 up on those 12 trades. Obviously minus this last position if this is going to be a losing position. Doesn't necessarily mean it is. Okay, it was on that case. So basically 987, so $600 up so far since 9 a.m. So 936. So this is trading through the open. So the idea behind this was to have a set of numbers actually running from 9 a.m. before the session started. And then during the session, go and optimize data. So we optimize data so that we can change settings throughout the session. So before, what we were doing is we were only starting our optimizations from 9:30, and we were running optimization, and we only started our strategy at 10 to 10 or 9:30, 10 to 10, or not 9:30, 9:45, 10 to 10. And we were actually missing out on that period before. So at least with this, we're taking the last month's worth of data and we're finding the best settings that have worked very well, and we're applying them directly to the chart to give us a start for the trading day. Now, today, obviously, the market conditions are so different to, back a month ago because of the news coming out on Friday and over the weekend. So I'm quite grateful, though, that these settings are actually showing that they're still performing very well. Slightly different to how they would have performed. had the market just been a bit more stable, but they're still holding their own. We've had an 800 drawdown, but we still made, you know, over $1,000 basically for this period. Okay, so I'm just still running my optimization in the background. That's for that longer period, so I can show you those daily rates and stuff. And I guess the idea behind this is to have the option to be able to run optimization for larger periods of time, and then use those results, or use those results from the analyzer to apply to your trading charts to go ahead. So there, we just took a small little losing position over there. So the drawdown has been a bit higher today than what we would like. But yeah, again, we had some really epic moves today in the market. So we're having a lot of reaction today. Okay, so if you're part of the Skype group chat, so I've put this on our Skype group chat, the template. So it's in our DTB Traders focused support group. I'm not sure if you're part of that, Craig. Yeah, I could also, yeah, I'll just put it. I might just also save those templates. Yeah, I mean, it's quite, we'll go through the settings just now. We'll go through the settings just now. But basically, once you've saved a template, it's quite simple to go and modify it to basically have it, you know, adjusting accordingly. Okay, we're getting a little bit of, this is not 100% right. It's not, it's just the cosmetics of it on the chart that I'm not showing right. This is NinjaTrader just having a bit of a thought fart, really, where it's placing these, you know, this over here looking like this. Okay, so give it a moment to continue. I'm still just watching the optimization. That's almost done. And we'll monitor that in the background. Oh, man. Who's calling me this time of night? Oh, it's almost midnight over here. 11:45. Goodness sakes. Okay, good. So now this has come up. So let's have a look at this. So this is the optimization I ran earlier. And it's probably going to include, I was not going to include today's data because today's the 20th, but this basically ran from the 22nd of the 8th to the 18th of the 9th. And if you look at the analysis of this, it's going to show you all the days of data. So I've selected for it to show me day of week. And I've basically cycled through and I found like this setting showed a decent return for Mondays. 30 trades making 2.9. So these are, I mean, look at Friday, that's crazy. You know, this is what the strategy would have accomplished had those settings been active for that day. And what I basically did, I just cycled through all the settings that came up in the analyzer, and I found the ones, you know, where Mondays had shown the best results. So look, there's another decent one, not as high. That's a pretty good one also. Not as many trades though. So I was looking at the quantity of trades as well as the overall result. So like this one here showed a good overall result, but the Monday didn't look very good. It kind of stepped up during the week. Still a good consistent number of trades, but you know, looking at the drawdown, the amount, not the greatest. So that's what I did. This was another one that showed very high percentage profitable for Monday, like 3,200, but because it had losing days in the middle of the week, I didn't select that. So I was just a bit analytical about looking at the different settings, and that's why the top one actually came out as the best result, because Monday, you know, showed a good result. So this is how we can basically further analyze and review, you know, different data sets. And then I've also confirmed the data by looking at the chart. So you can actually scroll back and you can look at that chart for that period of the day. where it shows the 9 a.m. start. So it would have started just after 9. So the first trades actually started from 9:30, 9:28, which is similar to what happened today, actually. And then what this does, it traded all the way until the close of the session, which is outside of trading hours at 10:55 a.m. So very quickly looking at this setting, just very quickly looking at these settings, we're optimizing. So when you review the video, you should be able to look at these settings and duplicate them yourselves. There's not a lot to change. So if you load up the strategy, all you have to select is optimization and true for the first time slot between 9 a.m. and 10:55. And then the rest of the settings you can just look at. So pause the video when you rewatch this. And then I'm going to scroll down and look at the rest of the settings. So basically exactly the same settings as we've been using all week or the last few weeks. The only thing I've changed is I've changed a broader date set. So a much broader date set. So that's the rest of the settings. So nothing, out of the ordinary that we're doing here. It's just a longer date range of optimizing. Okay, let's have a look at our trading chart. So we currently took a little bit down at the moment, not down overall, but the it's basically made 880 with the 870. So like a 50-50 type of a risk reward type of a thing at the moment. Price has definitely gone up a lot since the open. So looking at the other charts. So here are the analytical charts on a. Let me remove this chart trader so it doesn't confuse us. So here is the NQ on a 44.44 bar. So this told us all the way back here at 9:30 that this price was very likely to go up, and that's exactly what it's done since it's open. Now remember, this is exactly how the chart looks at the time of the bar. So notice the momentum line, notice the divergences we have over here, as well as the arrows, and that momentum line changing direction. So that's a beautiful key pointer that this price is going up, and that's exactly what it did. It actually rose. Each of these bars is 44 ticks. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 280 ticks before that momentum line even showed it was going to come down and started showing these divergences and red arrows. And that's where we are now. So we're seeing divergences right now, and we're showing this momentum line to be coming down. So this is showing us that this price is going to be dropping. We're on the zero line right now. So the buyers and sellers are fighting over price right now. And if the bar stays green, we're probably going to still be in the buyers territory for a while. We need those bars to turn gold to be in sellers territory. So that is what is happening over there. So we'll keep monitoring that. Okay, so that's the 44.44 YM. Well, the YM is definitely shot up. Again, with a look at the YM on the 5-minute chart, that momentum line has been facing up the whole time. So even though we were in a major sell today, this has shown a huge draw up. Okay, and that is the ES. Okay, so it's definitely time for us to close off some positions, the strategy over here. So okay, so this has it's gone the other way now. So we had an extremely good start to this. And this is also great for somebody that's got a target in mind, $500, $600, $700, $800, even up to $1,000 as a target for the session that would have been hit a lot earlier. Now it's kind of really switching around. So this is the time that we'll go and look at the analyzer again and use the settings on here to monitor what's happening today, just for today's data. So that's why we're going to go into here and select the 20th of the 9th to the 20th of the 9th, which is the 21st actually, and then run the same settings, but we've just changed the data. Okay. I'm just going to bring up the YouTube site to see if anything is working on there. So Jamal, the Zoom link is in the OneDrive. It's in the folder, in the exact folder where you download your tools. There's a document in there, and it's the same link we use every week. Okay, so this is today's data only. So monitoring the trades from today. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm actually going to be template, and I'll save this, and I'm going to save this as today's trading chart. So 20, and I'm going to call this trading chart. So this could have been done earlier. It's already 9:50. So this definitely should have been done probably just after, you know, about 10 minutes prior to what we're doing right now. We should have stopped the old strategy and reactivated the new one. So let me go and load that onto that chart now. So let's go do that. So I'm going to pause this. Oh, come on. So strategies, and go in here, and I'm going to go template, load, and I'm going to use the exact settings that we got from our strategy analyzer for today's data, and then go and apply this to the trading chart and press start. Now, we didn't go and run the very specific, or look at the very specific chart on the strategy analyzer tab, but I saw the value. I can see the value is right. Okay, so let me just monitor that. Okay, so the settings that we have right now have been optimized using today's data only. As you can see from the optimizer. So I'm going to just bring that down a bit so we can see the analyzer on the one page too. I might just increase the size of the font on here. I know on YouTube, unfortunately, the font does not show large, and because the video quality is very crap. The Zoom, I don't know why Zoom has got such a bad, you know, rate of displaying the video to YouTube, but we're just working with that at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to just bring up my analyzer. Okay, I was probably a bit hasty to jumping onto that strategy, but let's just, oh, come on. Should have set this up first. So just getting the analyzer in place like this. And looking at the chart on here, I might have made that a bit larger. And while I'm doing that, I can just run the analyzer again. And then bring up the trading chart, which is this one over here. Okay, so that is currently the settings that are activated on here. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to be reacting today because of the severe change in the market conditions. But by optimizing regularly, we're actually getting the heartbeat of the market intact. So right over there, I'm actually going to go template, save. I'm already going to change the settings. Okay, so save, yes. And I'm going to come to my trading chart over here, strategies. And I'm only changing it because I can see that the last positions are much better on from the optimizer. So come on. 20, and you got to do this fast when the market is moving this quick. And go. So that has shown beautiful, beautiful ups and downs and runs of the price. And immediately you look at the results from the analyzer and you compare that to the chart, so you know that you've got the right settings in place. So immediately from those amazing settings, like all the previous trades were showing high in profit almost immediately. That's what happened with this trade. So, you know, in this type of case, you can be in and out of the market in a reasonably quick space of time by keeping optimizing the settings until you find a setting range like this, where it's showing like such high accuracy, and all the previous trades, like literally all the previous trades were successful. So it's just leading that the next one or two are probably going to be very successful too. Okay, so that was nice. We had a nice little run down there. It looks like a little bit of a run up, a little bit of a run down. Let's see if this bounces down, or is it going to break through? And while that's doing, we can just keep running the optimizer in the background. Remember, we've only got 1,600 results that it's cycling through, so it takes pretty quick to run. And we're not quite sure how long these settings are going to be holding on a day like this. But if we're getting good results on the chart and the optimizer is matching those results, we can stay onto those settings. So that was good. We had a good $200 rise up over there, and another $200 run over there, and another buy over there. So all the previous positions have been successful so far, with only small little turnarounds like that. And the same setting, if you look at this at the settings on setting AB, the same settings are showing top of the list in our analyzer. So currently we've got the heartbeat of the market in check. We've definitely got the heartbeat of the market. So how long this will continue is really anybody's guess, but that is why it is so important to keep optimizing so you can see what is the current heartbeat of the market. Now, right now, we're on a 38.2 Fibonacci level. So a good thing to do over here is actually to pause the strategy, because look, it bounced off there. Okay. It's on a 38.2. So there's a good chance it's going to bounce up, but we're currently in a sell position. All right. So this is where you can say, you know what, I know the strategy says sell, and there's a good chance it might still go down, but because we're at a strong Fibonacci level, I don't want to be in a sell position, so I'm just going to pause it and capture the profits, you know, or capture the move that was down to that Fibonacci level. Because remember, these Fibonacci levels are extremely, extremely powerful, and they are going to, the price is very, very, very likely to react around those levels. So right now, I just pause the strategy because we're at that strong Fibonacci level. And I'm running my optimization again. So I know when you guys are watching this, you're thinking, shit, this is very busy and active, but it can be extremely rewarding once you find your rhythm and you have the strategy generating a very good return. Hey guys, anybody on the call had their strategies running or have done anything their side?
I had my data series messed up and I just figured out why. So I just started my strategy.
Okay. That's okay. See, and I'm looking at my previous chart. I mean, not my previous chart. I'm looking at my at other charts on the side over here, and there's that Fibonacci level, 38.2. That's where the price just came and literally touched to the tick, and it bounced off there. And these are 44 ticks. This bar is 44. It's 88. It's like almost 100 ticks that it's bounced off that 38.2. So this is how powerful these Fibonacci levels are. And look at that. It's, you know, we can all day, every day, if you're watching those levels, you're gonna be very happy, very happy about it. Okay, so we've had the strategy paused for a while. Now that we're in clear air, we could actually have activated the strategy because we had this decent bounce off there. And this exact strategy that we're looking at now, it had two small losing positions. If you look at the bottom chart there, at that Fibonacci level, it actually had two small losing positions where the price bounced off that Fibonacci. And then the next position has been a buy, which would have currently been in now. But that's okay. I'm going to use the setting it. So it's the same setting, exactly the same setting. I'm going to start it up again. And there we go. So I've restarted the strategy. I know it's the exact same settings. So there we are. Again, because of the history of the strategy, we've got to just see what's happening here. So a little bit iffy in the stage. I mean, it came down more than what it's ever had before into a losing position. So you can say, you know what, I'm going to just, okay, well, that's fine. That was like not a bad position to be in. Let me just see what the settings are saying over here. So this is still telling us that these are the best settings to use. Although right now we've gone a bit down, so I'm going to monitor this and pause it if necessary. So like right now, you can see the price. We've had a few zigzagging trades where we've had a few losing positions. So now this might just be a stage of basically the change of the guard. And the change of the guard is happening where the settings are just a little bit out of sync. So the strategy is starting to have a few more losing positions, which is okay. We just need to run our optimization and just see if anything better is coming up. But for most people, you know, they would already be up $400 or $500 by now anyway, just by you know, those first few little runs that we had. And then you're done for the day. You know, you would be done for the day. Before 10 a.m., you would be done. So I'm running optimizations. These are coming up. So this is where I can also start looking down a little bit. I can say, okay, well, the last few positions on the second setting are much better. So let me change to the second setting on the thing. So save. I'm going to go to my trading chart. Yes. You don't always have to use the top one. You can go and use the second setting in the list because maybe the second setting is starting to show much better results. So you can go template, load, and I'm going to load the second one right now, which is this one here. I'm going to enable it. And the good thing is before I press start, I can check how the previous trades have acted. Now, I already know that the settings are right because I'm looking at the accuracy and the drawdown and the percentage. So I know that there's nothing wrong with my chart and the data. So this one's going to give me the best probable success, probably because it's shown to be the, lately those last few trades have really been in our favor, and that just could be currently the heartbeat of the market. But again, we're at the 38.2 and looks like now we might just break through it, which looks like it does, and there we're in a beautiful trade again. Again, you can also choose long only, short only, or both. Most people will be saying I'm only taking short trades today because the market is dropping very fast, but it's also risen very fast too, you see. So, you've got to look at both of those type of things. So they're nice running short position with a quick changeover. Coming to retest at 38.2. So this is the price is coming to retest at 38.2. So I'm going to click on short only. Yeah, because to me, that's come back to, it's broken through the 38.2. It's come back to retest it, and it hasn't been successful breaking through, at least for right now. So I just selected short only. So if it does happen to change a signal, I don't want to be trading into a Fibonacci level. I'd rather only be trading short now, because below this 38.2 is a much bigger gap to the next Fibonacci level. So there we go. It exited over there because it changed to a buy signal. All right. So that was a buy signal over there. Oh, shit. And it also went to another sell signal. So let's see what this does. Not exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay. So remember, we've selected sell only. Now it's coming above the 38, which is what our chart, maybe we can be very fortunate in this regard. Coming back below the 38. Yeah, so now I've paused the strategy. So we've had a almost a flat position there, but then we've had a bit of a losing run up, but we're at the strong Fibonacci level. So, it's a good idea now that we are battling around this ground. We might as well just stay out the market until we've got direction from it. And while you're looking for direction, you might as well run your optimizer, because that's going to give you the best settings that are currently working in this environment. And if you have to change your things that the optimizer runs faster, you can do that. And we have used high settings. So you could even say, I'm going to analyze between 20 and 40 instead of 1 and 40, and then it'll go a lot faster. So 238.10, I'm just looking at these settings over here. I'm looking at the market, the chart. All of these settings, if you notice, all of these settings on the top are all high numbers, except for the top one. They're all high numbers. So I'm actually going to change this to go from 20 to 40 and 20 to 40. And just see how long that takes to run, because it's only 441 iterations. And I just did it on the fly because I can see a lot of the settings that are high up on the list are showing the higher numbers. So this way you can run an optimization in 10 seconds and run it a lot quicker. But you are also narrowing down your, your results that the optimizer is giving you. But when the market is moving so fast, you kind of do have to do that. All right, one more time. I want to see winning positions as the last few trades. So there, I've still got losing positions over there. I've got one running position over there. A losing position over there. So right now, I'm not excited about activating one of the strategies because the last few positions have just been showing losing positions. Okay, so this is also looking pretty good. So I'm going to go template and save. This is a chart that hasn't taken as many trades as the rest. So we might have a good result with this one too. Okay, so template, load. I'm going to save the one I just saved, which is this one here. Okay, so this is currently showing a sell position right now. It's in a sell, it's showing a sell position. But because we have wait until flag synchronize account, it's going to act on the next one. Let me increase my range a little bit from 10 to 40 and 10 to 40. So we've had a few cases of this 38.2 and that brick wall. So, you know, looking at that, if you're looking for sell opportunities, then those would be the best ones available. It's going to increase it slightly again because it does seem to be running pretty quickly. And the market has slowed down a bit, so it's good to see that. Okay, so nothing coming up yet in our analyzer that's giving us any better settings than what we currently have. So if anybody wants to jump in at any time, just tell us what's happening on your side. So on our smaller charts, so if you were doing scalping off one of our smaller charts, you can have a look at that. So sometimes you'll just refresh the indicator for it to show the shadow trading. A little bit of a bounce off there, but our momentum line is facing down. So we're probably still expecting this price to be going down at this instance until the momentum line switches. That's a slightly larger chart. And of course, on our 44 chart, which is this one over here, we've got our momentum line switch over. So as you know, as soon as you're seeing green bars, the buyers are in control. As soon as you start seeing more gold bars, you know, the sellers have taken over. So it gives you a good advance notice really before the price starts really dropping down. So just like, you know, over there, it's given you advance notice, and the same thing happened earlier in the chart where you start seeing more of the gold bars and stuff and see who's actually in control of the price. We are coming towards 38.2 on the weekly. So there's a few very, very strong levels coming up here, which is why the price actually bounced off there earlier today at 9:30. So if you look at your Fibonacci levels on here, you're going to see that okay, so you've got the deep pink is the daily Fibonacci level. So it's a 38.2 of the daily and the 76.4 of the daily Fibonacci. So those are the ones that you are seeing over here. That's this level on the right. So that's where this price is either going to completely smash right through it, or it's going to bounce off there, because that is a reasonably strong level for it to work off. So they've come down there earlier before today. We do have this momentum line facing right down though. So that's a good indication that this price is still has got more of a tendency to be going down than up. But it doesn't mean we might not see a bounce off here. And remember, this is 44 ticks. So, you know, there's a lot of movement, you know, in the price in that small range. I mean, that was 62 ticks just in that little initial bounce off that 38.2. So I wouldn't be taking a long extended position long over here if I was looking at a long. It'll just be a scalping trade. But earlier, when we saw the market open at 9:30, we've got this momentum line way, way, way above price, and it's like a magnet for price. So that sucks it up. And that's what happened earlier. And then the momentum line is completely switched and it's facing down. You can see it's above the price and it's facing down. So that is a very, very strong indication of a move coming into play. So normally what happens is this momentum line drops below the price and then sucks the price down, just like it did over here. So this is such a strong push that the momentum line is even still above the price and it's basically running down. Okay, so let's have a look at our optimizer again and see what else is going on there. So again, I'm running the optimization on today's data just to see what is showing up on there, to see if we can get some nice extended trades. Now, it would have been lovely to have been in a long trade somewhere from, you know, in one of these moves over here, which is over 100 ticks. Let's see what this one is giving us. We still got the strategy active in case it does a flick over. And we still have these. Yeah, so this is just basically a straight down thing. We've broken below that level right now. Could come back and just retest it. which it often does after it breaks through a level and then bounces off that. So a very cool way to see that, I mean, the 1616 chart is a chart that I like to refer to often. And that also shows you, obviously you load the levels on it, but it shows you a breakthrough, a retest, and then a bounce off. And the same thing happens with these levels, that you'll get the price come, breakthrough, test, retest, and break through again. So great things to watch out for. We really want to see this momentum line rise considerably, but the price still drop for this to be a very decent bounce upwards. And while that's running, I'm going to just run my optimization again. Okay, this is just showing that long extended thing. So I paused the strategy earlier after that rise up over here, but this last strategy would actually have been in a sell position right now and still would have been in that sell. So that's the risk of what happens when you pause a strategy. When it's running, you're actually missing out on that long run, which you ideally want. If you don't want to miss out on that entire run, if you see a confirmed breakout, like we did at that 38.2, you can pause the strategy and go immediately submit synchronized account, and then it'll take that position from where it is and go down. Yeah, so these are all still showing the same trades. So I guess, you know, when you're seeing your strategy analyzer give you results that every single trade that the best results are showing are sell positions, you can also look on your trading chart and find some opportunities to be entering manual positions. I'm actually going to save this template. You see this template here? It's got more trades, and it's taking those little zigzag trades. So I'm going to go and add that strategy to this chart. So strategies, I'm going to just disable this one. Come on. Template load. I saved that new one on this one. And I can go and enable that and click on start. So this one here, it's taken a few trades, took nice long trades, a little stop, another trade, little stop, another trade. So it was expecting some pullbacks, but all in all, those small little losers that it had there had big running positions afterwards. So that's why you can also just cycle down your list and just look at what other strategies results are showing you. And hopefully they can get you into some trades where you've got a little bit of movement in it. And all of these others are just showing that one singular trade coming down. This was the first one that was actually showing the current heartbeat of the market, where it took that short trade, small changeover, another short trade, small changeover, and is currently in a long position. So this strategy right now is in a long position at this very moment. in the background. So had it been activated a few minutes before, but would switch over now to a short, more than likely, depending on what happens with the price over here. So it's still in that long position. So that's a good one to watch out for, 22.31. Yeah, so Craig, with the Fibonacci levels, you've got to save the templates. You've got to save the templates for the Fibonacci levels in the drawing tool. So in the OneDrive folder, there's a template, there's a folder called templates, and in there is the drawing tool templates, and you've actually got to go in there and copy or download the templates and then extract it to your zip file, unzip it and extract it to your templates drawing tool in your NinjaTrader. So if you look at the Fibonacci levels video that I created, the instructions are in there, as well as the documentation in the indicator. So on top of the indicator, so if you go into the indicator settings and you copy and paste this link into Google or into your browser, it'll take you to the folder, and you can go read up. In that folder, it will tell you how to save your templates correctly. If you don't say them correctly, they're going to just be on the left of the screen and it won't actually show properly. So because that price has moved, let me just see. I'm just going to increase my results a little bit here so I can see a few more. I've only got the top 10 results, but I can actually increase that to 15 just so that it gives me some settings. Okay, so now it's the strategy into the sell position on that brick wall, and now buy. So it was only a short little down run there. Now it's in a long position again. So we'll see how long that run up is going to be. Shouldn't be long though. We're bouncing off a few things over here, but who knows? We're not bouncing off any Fibonacci levels, but I'm just looking at my shadow trading chart. And I'm actually seeing that was actually forecast. So that move we're seeing right now was actually forecast if you were looking at your indicator. Look at that. Look at that momentum line. Look at this run and the divergences. So this actually was forecast before it even happened. Now, again, if you look at it, we're at the 38.2, the Fibonacci level. So at this stage, you can also decide to pause your strategy because we're at this very strong level right now. But I would only do that if you're getting an indication over here that the price is reversing, which it kind of is. Look at that momentum line. Look at those divergences, the Fibonacci level. So the price came right up to that Fibonacci level. So it's good to be looking at different charts. Just like the 1616, because what happened there is the price came up, the indicator told you perfectly that when that price was going to reverse, even came right down, told you on which bar it was going to reverse, and the price came all the way to that Fibonacci level, and literally immediately bounced off that level. So this is where you can, pause your strategy and capture any of those moves. So again, when you're at a strong level like this, you can also choose to pause your strategy until you get direction, because there might be a lot of bouncing around this area. The last thing you want is a buy into that and it bounces off and then you get stopped out. So pausing that strategy up higher would have been nice. As soon as it touched that 38.2, we would have actually exited. If we had paused that strategy as that price was touching that 38.2, we would have had an exit over here instead. So it's good to have your finger near the pause. You can get out of that position if you have to. Now, if you look at, if you've got your shadow trading indicator loaded up on any of your charts, especially even like the 1616, you've actually got this momentum line showing a downwards trajectory, which means that this is a good indication that the sellers are going to be taking over control. Okay, so I've run some more optimizations. I'm going to just keep running them in the background here. And that was a very brief look at that. So the price is moving very fast now, but we had a bounce off the bands over there. The bar turned green immediately and wham, we're up. So this momentum line is going to be changing also. As soon as that momentum line changes, you got to watch out for what's happening. Now, look at that. We've had a double divergence on top. Momentum line swinging in a downwards direction, and we're in that sell position now. So that was a beautiful bounce off that 38.2 chart on the daily, and that's how it's running down nicely now. And then while you are watching, your strategy, you can have your chart on another window like this, and you can watch what is happening on your other chart, okay? Because if you get a bounce off here now and you get an arrow, like a cyan arrow in the opposite direction, that will be a good indication that this price could have a temporary reversal. So that's what you want to watch out for. And you also want to watch out for the angle of that momentum line. So if that starts changing in an upwards direction, you can pause that strategy, which we just did over there. Maybe a little bit too preemptive there, but so I didn't actually have a cyan arrow. So there I should not really have exited there, because we still got our gold bars. Now we're starting to see a little bit of green, but still predominantly gold bars. So I should really have stayed in that position. I should really have stayed in. And look at that. I just gave up 16, 32, 48. Oh, now you see, now this is the stage where you would look to pause your strategy if you were in a sell position, because you're starting to get these cyan arrows over here. But it's not 100% certain, because you still got your momentum line, which is facing down. But to capture a good return from that, it's good to pause your strategy when you see those arrows form. And look at those arrows formed. That arrow formed right on that bar, and there was an arrow previous to it too. So you could actually use that as your point to exit, or even to do a little reverse trade bouncing up. So that was a little, just shows you a little bounce of that price off that band over there. So these little movements in price can definitely be taken advantage of. And while that's running, we're going to be looking at this. I'm not too sure what's happening, Craig. You might just have to, yeah, it shouldn't kick anything off. It should just, you know, continue like exactly like mine's doing. You got the exact same tool that I'm working on, so there should not be any difference to what you are getting and what I'm doing. So unless you've ticked some box or you've got something selected that you really shouldn't have, that's the only reason, the only time that'll cause it. Wow, so look at that. We've had this setting that I've got now has actually shown very, very good results. Unfortunately, I did pause it earlier, but it has had some very, very good results. We're in a sell position right now, but we are coming off that 38. So I'm not too worried about that unless it switches over to a buy. But you can also select short only. Sorry, I clicked along. You can select short only in this situation. And while there's a bit of indecision, I'm probably going to, you know, you can probably pause the strategy over here because we're at this 38. It's kind of, it doesn't know what direction it wants right now. And we're actually showing a momentum line switch over in direction. And as you can see, that momentum line switched earlier while there was still a fight between the buyers and the sellers. So that momentum line angle changed earlier and started telling us that the buyers are in control of the price because there's more green bars than gold bars. But we're at this 38.2 right now. The momentum line is facing up, but we probably, yeah, I can't say what's going to happen, but this, because the momentum line is facing up, I'm probably saying that this price is still going to be going up for a while, unless it really fails at this 38.2. But the good thing is that if it does break above this 38.2, which it looks like it's going to actually do, it's got a huge zone over here to work in. So we've got this zone over here. It's a huge zone for the price to move in. We do have a red arrow on top there. So yeah, so as you can see, you know, you've got these arrows are painting in real time. They're not repainting afterwards. They're actually plotting in real time. So in all of these situations, you've got these arrows that are plotting at the bar close. You've got these happening all the time. So this is exceptionally good for scalping as well, where you've got, you know, these trades that you can be taking advantage of in manual situations. So even seeing this type of thing where you've got the divergences, all of these can actually be taken advantage of. Now, we haven't been doing a lot of manual trading on here because I've been relying on the strategies. This is more focused on the strategies. But there's definitely so many opportunities to be entering manual scalping positions. And I haven't actually got the bands on this top chart. So let me just pop them on and just see what they are looking like. So I'm going to load on the ultimate bands on here. Showing that brick wall. Okay, so 22.31. Wow. So this strategy has really, really looked beautiful. So the setting that I've got active now has shown some really powerful moves up and down, trading these. So I'm going to reactivate that again, which I clicked on start. And I'm going to let it trade both ways, because this strategy results at the bottom. That is showing trading long and short positions. So look at this beautiful representation here of the bars showing, the price, first of all, going above the 38.2, then coming below, coming back to retest the 38.2, dropping again, retest, dropping again. So a little bit of a no man's land type of area right now for the price. And I know that because my shadow trading indicator is showing me the momentum line with the price. So when the momentum line is with the price, there's kind of a no real direction. It's kind of like a bouncing around type of a thing. Whereas before, you notice that the momentum line completely deviated from the price, and then it had a strong move in that regard. So while you're getting this type of thing happen here, you can't really make accurate decisions while this is happening, because the momentum line is with the price. There's no real evidence of who is in control of where the price is going to go, even though the sellers are currently in control of the market. You just don't 100% know what is going to be happening. So that's the only time I wouldn't be taking like a buy trade over there. I wouldn't be taking a long position on this specific arrow, because the momentum line was right with the price. Whereas earlier, if you noticed over there, the momentum line was a bit above the price. So you can, those type of things you could look at to make your decision too. Again, it's right with the price. So not really a powerful signal to tell you right now that that is a good buying opportunity. In fact, that momentum line is literally just sticking with the price, so it's just running down with the price. But we are coming right now, if you notice, if you've got your Fibonacci levels loaded, you are going to notice that we are coming to two strong levels, very strong levels. So this is where, if you were going to buy, this is where you would be buying, because you've got the 38.2 and the 61.8. So if you look at the indicator list, unfortunately the strategy's got into a sell, but if you're looking at the indicator list right now, this is where you put long, you can put long only on the setting. But right now, the 38.2 is the royal blue. So that's the weekly Fibonacci level. So this is a weekly Fibonacci level. Okay, this color over here is a khaki. That's a monthly Fibonacci level. So we add two very, very, very strong levels over here. 38.2 of the weekly, and a what is this? Khaki, which is the monthly Fibonacci. So that's probably why we're seeing a bit of resistance in price over here. So that'll be interesting to monitor at this stage. This is probably telling me that this is where the price is going to fail to go down any further from here. And this should really have been in long only. So that was really, yeah, you got to just be a little bit more alert on that when you're looking at that type of a situation. And look how the momentum line has pulled away from price. I'm going to pause this one over here, okay, and then we're going to watch this chart. So let's watch this indicator in action right now. So watch this indicator in action. Momentum line is up, okay. We've had multiple fails here at the 61.8, 38.2, and 61.8. It's still showing the sellers are in control of the price, but this momentum line that is pushing up is showing us that the buyers are more than likely going to be annihilating this. So if you were going to enter manual positions over here, where are we? I would be entering long positions over here, and you can have a decent. I'll put my stop just below this 61.8, which is a bit far away from that specific entry. But if you were going to enter another position over here, this is probably where the price is more likely to be failing because of those strong levels. Again, watching your momentum line, it's come back to that 38. Is it 38.2? I can't actually see below it. Just give me 1 second. I might have to, I can't center price and scale. It's a 38.2 and a 76 and a 61. Okay, so looking at this, look how that momentum line has is continually pulling the price. It's a battle though, but look at this momentum line, how it's pulling that price up. So, catching the price coming down, that's when you enter your long positions, and you can jump in at this stage. But always keep an eye out for that momentum line. If it really starts to change direction over 2-3 bars, it's best to just be out of that position until you get a clear, push from that again. So the price is coming back down over here, probably to retest this level to see how much resistance is over here. A very strong swing down and that momentum, but it's come to test that 61.8. You've actually got an arrow over there now. You've actually got an arrow over there, a cyan arrow. And all they're doing over here is they're coming to take out stops. They're coming to take out stops. I'm not liking the direction of this momentum line. It's now starting to fail a little bit. So this is, we've got a little bit of room on these specific ones over here. Momentum line switch over. Yeah, it's definitely a contested turf at the moment. Broke below the 61. Is it coming back to retest the 38 and then go down? Momentum line is definitely showing us maybe running out of energy over there. Please don't freeze on me. Watching what it is doing. So we've got another cyan arrow there. So there's definitely a huge amount of resistance around here, but this momentum line is switching over. So at this stage, I would actually be closing because look at this momentum line, what it's starting to do. The price is just creeping lower and lower and lower. It actually just crept a little bit lower for my liking. See, it came below the 61. Yeah, so I basically exited there. And what I should really have been doing is just pull my stop just below these arrows, because that momentum line now has switched again. So yeah, I got caught out a bit over there just by them bringing that price down a few more levels. So that stop hunting exercise that happened right over there, I was caught in that too. It's basically exactly what happened. And that's what they do. They will keep coming down to take out stops until they've got enough energy in their positions, and then they'll push it up. But this momentum line, it definitely showed that, yeah, I just wasn't happy that it was coming down a bit too much. But look how that has foretold that price going up. So it doesn't always happen like that, where they come down multiple times. But if you're looking back on your charts, you're going to notice that that momentum line will show you, like even over there, it came down a few times like that, and then bounced up. So it's not always going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be very similar. And if you were in a long position over there, you basically, when you see a red arrow like this, that's also going to be painting in real time, that could be an option to jump out. So on that position, like I stopped over there. I mean, look how close that came to, it was so close. Okay. So like all of these positions over here that were entered would actually have been in the green. So again, looking at a momentum line, I'm not even looking at the time. 10 to 11. But again, a little bit crazy, the market conditions that we are seeing. So this is the same. This is on a 44 chart, which is also a good chart to work on. There we actually had these bars forming, and if you were doing any type of a one-to-one risk reward type of a thing, that could actually have been a much better idea over there. So have a few different tabs open. We're not monitoring all different tabs on this call because we're not actually focusing on manual trading at all. But if you were looking at entering a few manual positions, have a few different sizes of bars open. So like here's a 44, and each of these bars is 44 ticks. And based on what you're seeing on the price, with the momentum line, and where the price is, like with regards to Fibonacci levels, you can actually make decisions on these bars to say, we covered this slightly the other day, that, as example over here, so entering limit orders over there with a 44 tick target and a 44 tick stop, and predicting that the price is going to come down to that bar. So it's these are basically running next to each other, just little things over here. Now right over here, because we've had a breakdown, I wouldn't be entering it on this specific bar, at that beginning. But if this comes down over here, that could be an option to enter over there. It's a 44 tick as a long and a 44 tick stop going down. Okay, let's just see what's going on over here. I've had this on pause. So this whole time, this price has been coming to this 38.2. You can see how it's just kept coming back and bouncing off it. So a bit pointless to reactivate strategies and stuff. Now we're literally coming to a few minutes before 11, which is when I'm planning to end this call. And that setting that I was using is still reasonably high up on that list. You see how all those trades are still showing winning positions, beautiful winning positions. So that is the same one that I had running on there, on both. So I don't think I got the strategy. Because I've been entering manual positions, it actually deactivated the strategy. So that is what this one has been showing, with one position losing there. So because we currently would be in a losing position, you wouldn't start that specific strategy. So this is where you can cycle through your results. And again, you can see which ones are showing you the best possible results. You're looking for ones that are bouncing around. And yeah, this one definitely wasn't it. It was good up until there, but now starting to show a few cracks. So we've got our 44 chart showing us a rise over here. So on any of these bars over here, if you were looking at entering a position on here, so like putting a limit order over here, putting a limit on the bottom of a bar like that, I would be more comfortable if it was on one of these lower bars. But this is what I was thinking of doing. So you're putting your limit order on a bar like that, and then you are targeting the top of that bar as your target. And then you are using the bottom of the next bar as your stop. So you're looking at like a 50-50 risk reward type of a situation. But like we were discussing earlier, we want to make sure we activate this on bars like these lower ones over here. Because the price has just been here very recently and it was bouncing off there, it could very well come back there again. So that's why using these bars as your entry is better than using a top bar like that. Our momentum line has definitely switched direction also. So now this is gonna serve as a support level now. Because the price has actually broken below that level. Let me just see what's going on over here. So it's come below, it's broken through that Fibonacci level. So it came multiple times to retest it, and this time it just went right through it. Very often they break through a level, come back and retest it, and then break up again. So what is our time? 10:58. So this was the level where, they're coming back to the Fibonacci level to retest those levels after they've broken through it. So that is what we kind of are looking for in this type of a situation. So your percentage of accuracy will be quite decent in doing that. Just because they have broken through those levels. And we also have a momentum line switch down at this stage. But remember, we are at a contested level. So Great. I'm going to end the call there. I'm sure you guys got some value out of this. And you can definitely work on, I think these Fibonacci levels, as you can see throughout the call, they've just been exceptionally, if just showing you where those levels of contention are, they're definitely very good in that regard. Have any of you guys had any strategies running throughout the session? I don't know. I had somebody jump off earlier, but how have you other guys been going? Okay, all right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being on the call, and we'll do it the same time tomorrow, and we'll see how the market conditions have reacted tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Okay.